First of all, I'd like to apologize for using the text-to-speech voice rather than narrating myself. I'm leaving for the airport in a few hours, and I couldn't find the time to record my own commentary rather than using TTS. I'm also sorry if this video seems rushed. I really wanted to get this out before I go on this trip. It only took 3 songs from the beginning of the Firstfruit for me to know I needed to make a video about it. This kind of album is something that K-pop needs more of in every capacity, and I hope it proves successful enough to become a model for any future K-pop idols that are planning for a solo album. Mark, to me, is more than just an idol, he's an artist. With the exception of a few co-producers, this album was entirely self-produced and self-written. Mark is credited on every single song as the main producer and composer, not just someone who assisted in the process. This album is more of a project than anything else I've seen in a while in K-pop, and something I feel like I haven't experienced since Yeon of Wonder Girls released 1719 already 5 years ago now. Both albums are such personal insights into what the artist behind them is going through and makes them feel so human when we usually see them as the idol they're presented to be. The Firstfruit had 3 pre-release singles, the oldest of which being released almost an entire year ago in May of 2024. And yet, these singles seamlessly flow into the composition of this album that has been in development for ages now. The true time and effort put into this project is so entirely admirable, and something I hope to see a ton of going forward in the K-pop world. There is a largely biblical theme throughout this album. I'm not religious, so this in Italy kind of turned me off to it. I thought it was going to be very in your face and forced, and I wasn't going to enjoy the album because of that. But looking farther into it, it does symbolize Mark's faith and Catholicism, but in reality, it's related to his dream. He feels that he can dedicate his accomplishment to not just religion, but the fact that he believes in something. He presents the idea that it's not about dedicating that first fruit to God, but to yourself and your ambitions. The intro track, Toronto's Window, is narrated by Mark. Toronto, for Mark, is a place where he spent a large portion of his childhood and where his earliest memories were formed. The song details Mark's thought process during his struggling years where his dream was in the forefront of his life. He talks about how far he's come from dreaming about where he is now. This sets the groundwork for the album. It's about dreaming in detail, not just having a religion. This is also the introduction of the concept of his parents on this project, when he states, "My mom raised me like an angel, my dad taught me how to fight devils." This thought of his parents will become a recurring theme that he'll delve into further into the album. 1999 is the title track here. It's a very NCT-coded song with the concept of Mark looking positively back to his birth year and childhood. The music video for this song is just incredible. It follows Mark time traveling back to 1999 in a campy and fun atmosphere where his art is so revolutionary that he becomes a celebrity in just one day. The song itself is a more satirical look into what the album is at its core, and at the end, is interrupted by the next skit track. Flight to NYC takes the listener from the lively 1999 into the real meat of this album, which is the story to it. The song that follows it, Righteous, is the brag song of this album. It's a hearty, heavy rap song with a strong bass and trap feel. The next, Fractia, has a similar vibe. The hits in this song that sync up with the bass every so often makes it goddamn electric. Not to mention Yoonja's verse, which was absolutely needed for this song to total up to everything it wants to be. The section of Righteous and Fractia is the representative area of the album that showcases the character that Mark puts on in his exterior, the real idol of Mark's persona. These tracks exude nothing but confidence in their heavy and punchy vibe. That is the outside image that Mark puts on in order to achieve his goals. Pure credence in his abilities and self-reliance are at the spearhead of how Mark wishes to look. The abrasiveness of these 2 songs abruptly transitions into the next track, Raincouver, which is a portmanteau of rain and Vancouver. Vancouver, Canada is where Mark was scouted for SM Entertainment. You may not know this, but Mark did not initially want to be an idol. His dream job was to become either a writer or an ice cream truck driver, but his care for music was something that would come to him on a rainy September day in 2012. At the SM audition that he only attended out of curiosity, he unexpectedly passed the audition into the finals, making him an official SM trainee. This segues into the next song, Loser, which is ostensibly a love song for a woman. But actually, it's about Mark's wish to return to Vancouver so as to not lose it in his heart. The vocals in this song really shocked me. I'm fully aware of Mark's capabilities as a singer, but it was really nice to hear him in this style of song. Watching TV might be, without exaggeration, one of the most artistic and best K-pop songs I've ever heard. The soulful vocals that open this song had me expecting a pop soul track, but it ended up being a combination of Jersey club, Atlanta bass, and even ambient in some sections. Now this is a love song. These lyrics were written with serious care, and it's obvious from just listening to them. I had to loop this song a few times when I was giving this album its initial listen, which only enhanced the experience. I've only heard it a few times, but I already wish I could imprint this track onto my brain. The narration that Mark does at the end only makes it more beautiful, and the outro of this song feels like Ascension. I highly recommend giving it a listen if you haven't heard it already. This is a bit shockingly followed up by 82 Prezsin, another pre-release of the album. This was the only song I felt was just kinda shoved into the album to be there, but it has really grown on me since I first heard it. I love how Hae-chan and Mark's voices sound together, and I especially thought Hae-chan sounded great on this beat. 82 Prezsin is followed up by another pre-release, 200. This song has always been special to me ever since it was released back in May of last year, and I feel like I can't go a few days without listening to it. The sweeping bass and electric guitar are such staples that work so well together, as well as the intense drum beat that carries throughout a majority of the song. 200 is the last song of this album before he transitions into the most solemn and personal section. Journey Mercies is the opening of this 3-track section of the project. This is the most endearing of the love songs on this album. I'm still unclear whether or not this is supposed to be a personal love song or more of a fan song, but I'm personally leaning towards the latter because of the composition of this section and the next song. The skit Mom's interlude is about, well, Mark's mother and what she wants to say to him. It reminded me of the ending of Like Him off Tyler the Creator's recent project Chromacopia, with the raw audio of his mother talking about him. In this track, Mark and his mother have a conversation over a soft piano played by Mark's mom. She talks about how she is proud of him and doesn't have to worry about him anymore. The album closes out with the song Too Much, which is more of an ode to Mark's parents than it is what people suspect, which is to his fans. With the previous song being about his mother and featuring a real conversation with her, I would find it a little strange for it to just leave it at that. Mark dedicates his success to his parents, his faithfulness, and just the idea of holding a belief in something at all. It's not about Christianity, it's not even exactly about religion, although that's what Mark's faith is in. His message with this project is that you have to believe in something, whether it's a god or something adjacent to that or just yourself. Having faith that things will turn out alright is the key to achieving everything you want in life. I would like to wrap up this video with a quote from Mark himself in an interview released today about the album. I just want to say that I'm not asking for the world to love this album, but I am in a way requesting for the world to take the moment to listen to this album from start to finish at least once, because then they'll get to know me better. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe if you enjoyed it.